Welcome all my dear friends from all over the world to yet another segment of Cause and Effect with me, Ashraf Naguib. Today we have yet another unique segment with a unique guest. As we all know, one of the main flourishing sectors in Egypt is the construction and development sector. And like all other sectors and industries, not just in Egypt, but around the world, has been adversely impacted by this global crisis that we're all going through. So today I have a special guest who will be able to give us an insight and guide us through how the construction and development industry is being impacted, where the opportunities are, and what are the main challenges under these specific circumstances. Mr. Omar Sabbour is head of Sabbour Consulting, a man with a lot of experience as he comes from a family business that has developed and has played a very unique and important role throughout years in creating a flourishing construction and development industry. Mr. Omar Sabbour, firstly, أنا عاوز أشكرك. I really want to thank you for accepting to participate with me in my humble show called Cause and Effect. And I hope that you and the family are all in the best of health always and taking care of yourselves and staying home.
Good morning, Ashraf. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you on Cause and Effect, and congratulations on such a great initiative. Well, we are safe, the family is safe, and we're spending more time together due to the fact that I'm working from home most of the time now. So everybody's safe, everybody's fine.
As I mentioned in my introduction, the construction and development industry in Egypt is a vital lifeline for millions and millions of people that are employed, that whether directly or indirectly within the supply chain of construction and development, not just in Egypt, but also around the world. So my first question to you is, how are you doing? How is your business? I mean, you work mostly on consulting rather than the rest of the family business that works in construction and development. But how's your consulting business been impacted by these adverse circumstances we are going through currently?
As you said, regarding the construction industry, it's one of the main industries that employ a lot of Egyptians, and a lot of Egyptian families rely on this industry as their source of revenue. Also, we have to realize that the construction industry is the driver behind another about 70 more industries. So it is also responsible indirectly for the employment and well-being of more and more Egyptian families. What we're doing to make sure that our work does not stop and that we are doing business during the time of this crisis is divided into two areas. One of them is what we're doing in the main office, where most of our work is engineering design work. Therefore, working from home is an option. It's a very valid option. We are now working with only 1/3 of the workforce coming to the office, and 2/3 doing the same jobs they were doing in the office, but from their homes on their laptops. I was pleasantly surprised of the effectiveness of this system. Productivity did not decrease, and we are doing our jobs on time and delivering our designs and our responsibilities towards our clients on time. What we also did, and this we did of course in the main office and also in all the sites that our engineers are working on as construction supervision, is that we dealt with specialists, specialized company to make sure that they sterilize the main office and all the caravans our engineers use on site, and to make sure that the working environment is as safe as possible. Of course, we also provided usual tools that we all know about, the masks, the disinfectants, the thermometers that get the temperature but from far away, not the normal thermometers, all the needed tools to make sure that our engineers and our employees are safe both in the main office and on site. Unfortunately, construction supervision cannot be done remotely. Engineers cannot stay at home, they cannot work from home. So all we can do on construction site is be extremely careful that our engineers follow all the measures to be safe and to make sure that they do not expose themselves to the virus.
So, Omar, how do you see the impact of this global crisis that we're going through on the Egyptian economy at large? Not just on your sector, but also on the economy at large.
Well, the impact of the crisis will vary from an industry to the other. On one hand, you have industries that will suffer very much, like the tourism and aviation and dining and entertainment industries. Revenues in these industries has dropped to zero in most of the cases, and they will face a very hard time during the crisis. On the other hand, industries like the food industry and the businesses related to the food industry, like supermarkets, for example, pharmaceutical industries and pharmacies will not suffer, I believe. On the contrary, they might even flourish. Of course, pharmaceuticals, I don't need to explain why they will flourish, but if we're talking about the food industry, we've all seen the panic-driven shopping spree, food shopping spree that many Egyptians, and I think it happened all over the world, went through, and how the supermarkets were packed and people were buying more than they needed. So maybe these industries will even flourish during the time of the corona crisis.
Omar, let's put it this way. I mean, you and I and a lot of people that might be working more on the consultancy side of things might have the luxury of being able to work from home. But the whole supply chain, millions of other workers, the builders, the carpenters, the drivers, factory workers that produce construction material supplies, I mean, all of these people have to physically be at their workplace. So are there going to be any changes in dynamics of this workforce post-corona?
Well, I guess the change that makes a lot of sense is that we will apply what we had to apply due to the circumstances, the idea or the concept of people working from home, designers, engineering designers working from home, and only coming to the office when needed, as opposed to dealing with engineering designers like other employees that they have to come from 9 to 5, which the crisis proved very clearly that it is not really needed. I guess this will be a better working environment, better working conditions for the employees. I'm sure an engineering designer would be happier if he or she have to come to the office maybe 2 or 3 times a week instead of 5 times, and then work from the comfort of their homes, maybe even flexible hours. I'm not sure how exactly this will be done, but what I know is that this experience will definitely drive us, and I believe it will drive other engineering offices to try to change the way they're doing business with regards to designers in particular. Well, regarding construction sites, the change I am really hoping for is that construction companies start taking health and safety measures much more seriously. The crisis has forced companies to do this, and I hope this goes on even after the crisis.
Omar, thank you for being with me on Cause and Effect and for all of this wonderful, insightful information that we can share with our friends around the world to keep them updated on what's happening in the Egyptian business sector and the Egyptian economy. And in the meantime, please give my best regards to the whole family, and take care, stay home, and stay safe.
Thank you very much for having me on Cause and Effect, and my best regards to you and your family.
Thank you, everyone, again for tuning into yet another segment of Cause and Effect, talking about the construction and development industry with Mr. Omar Sabbour. And please stay tuned for many segments to come. Stay safe and stay home.